Whoa! Let's not shoot each other, all right?
We're after the new form. Ignore everything else.
We have seen the Spider-Man origin story retold countless times. And instead of boring us with yet another Peter Parker teenage approach, Insomniac respected our time with the original game, offering a fantastic experience tailored by a mature and adulthood Peter Parker. With this approach, it gave way to a particular origin story starring Miles Morales, a 17-year-old young man maintaining the same affinity and passion for engineering as Peter Parker. With a great head on his shoulders, including his natural disposition to protect the innocent, more impressively, while Peter Parker and Miles Morales may share similar interests, Insomniac has brilliantly given Miles his very own unique identity, expressed through an unapologetic lens of culture that perfectly complements the game's thrilling action.
Guys, I wanted to thank you.
Before we go any further, please be sure to hit the like button as it truly helps out the video. And if you're new to the channel, please be sure to subscribe and also hit the bell notification icon as well. So as soon as a new video goes live, you will certainly be notified. Alright, thank you so much. Let's jump right in.
Miles, what's the underground doing?
Influenced by true-to-life ingredients, Spider-Man Miles Morales touches upon an emotional narrative which does a great job balancing the scales of fun while delivering a personal story. While I would love to point out most of the game's story details, which puts an exclamation point on the narrative, as well as the significance of Miles as a mixed African-American and Spanish-American kid from Brooklyn, let's just say this is something that should not be spoiled, as these integrated components of Miles' reality are delivered quite well. Sure, you are certainly going to have a blast as Spider-Man, possessing an array of cool new Miles-specific powers, yet Miles as a black superhero is not ignored as Insomniac places emphasis on his representation being delivered respectfully. Spider-Man Miles Morales is opened up off the heels of Marvel's Spider-Man, as Miles, since the conclusion of the original game, has become an understudy of Peter Parker. At the start of the game, Miles is well balanced as a young new superhero, who at this point is more than confident in his newfound abilities. And because of this, Insomniac quickly repositions Peter Parker out of the picture, as the hand-holding comes to a close after the action-packed introduction and apprehension of Rhino. In this early sequence, Miles discovers his exclusive Venom ability, allowing Miles access to his bioelectricity asset to punish his enemies and manipulate the environment. A short while later, the story also introduces players to Miles' impressive cloaking ability, where Miles can turn invisible, giving him a brutal yet fantastic combative advantage against the game's myriad of enemies. In costume, Miles is certainly Spider-Man, as he skillfully utilizes his superhero dexterity throughout the city. Yet even in this process, he is uniquely Miles. While Peter Parker's traversal process is maintained with more strength and physical control, Miles' traversal puts a smile on your face, as you can feel his youthfulness, as he is coming into his own as the new web slinger. Often, Miles' traversal physicality can be all over the place, even reckless, yet you will love it, as it seems to come from a place of both inexperience and youthful confidence. In this way, his unique Venom and camouflage abilities only adds to Miles' mystique. While the Venom ability is not unlimited, how you refill the meter in combat can make the ability very close to feeling unlimited, making you an explosive combatant who can quickly zip around a given area like an unstoppable juggernaut. Then, in between your Venom cooldown periods, you can become invisible, adding a continued approach of punishing encounters laid on your enemies. As you master this process, the inclusion of the series' combative signature cutscene animations, which are triggered by pressing multiple buttons during combat, and Spider-Man Miles Morales begins to feel like you're controlling a full-length Spider-Man animated film with all the bells and whistles. A strength of Miles Morales' experience is in how the world is integrated. While Miles Morales is a shorter game than the original, Insomniac wisely utilizes the canvas with objectives and side quests, which all amount to meaningful and narrative-laced experiences. As with my time in the world of Ghost of Tsushima, Miles Morales is so fun to play, I found myself on my first playthrough almost never utilizing the fast travel option, even when certain objectives or side missions were quite far. Even when I opted to swing through the city, on my way, there was always a crime or activity I could engage by way of my trusty new smartphone app. As mentioned before, Miles Morales is a shorter game than Marvel's Spider-Man. Yet I never felt at a loss or narratively shorthanded, as the game's story design with its moment-to-moment discoveries tied in quite well, even revealing new revelations of Marvel's Spider-Man, all the while making the game truly feel like a sequel. By no means is this DLC, but more in line with the ambitious efforts of Uncharted Lost Legacy. While many games offer side quests, sometimes becoming unnecessary bullet points or fillers, this is not. Like Marvel's Spider-Man, Miles Morales offers an attractive list of new Spidey suits distinctly used for Miles and upgradable with cool new mods, which complement Miles' unique skill tree. The pacing of Miles Morales seems somewhat influenced by the likes of the Netflix series Luke Cage, and its legitimate cultural depiction, with far less mature tones of course, while proudly giving way to the authenticity of Miles and as Spider-Man. Again, how Insomniac has pulled this off is nothing short of amazing. Even though Spider-Man Miles Morales is playable on PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 4 Pro, and looks more than impressive regardless of the hardware you play on, the game is certainly a showcase piece to behold on Sony's new flagship hardware. Let me say this again. Yes, Miles Morales looks great on current-gen hardware. However, don't let the compressed videos fool you. While playing Miles Morales on the PlayStation 5 in both fidelity mode and performance mode, the visual enhancements are quite noticeable over the PS4 and PS4 Pro. More specifically, while fidelity mode features incredible ray tracing throughout the world at a steady 30 frames per second, in 4K resolution I might add, for me, the fluidity of playing the game at a locked 60 frames per second with those incredible visuals was the perfect mix. Marvel's Spider-Man Miles Morales is a must-buy game for Spidey fans, and an impressive showpiece for your new and shiny PlayStation 5. While Miles Morales feels quite familiar to Marvel's Spider-Man, Insomniac has been able to enhance their proven Spidey formula with attractive new touches, as well as a soulful narrative I won't soon forget. And there you have it.
I can stop this! Just a little closer!